Hi, everybody. Welcome to class. So I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible for a syllabus lecture. I love what I do. I love teaching history, but probably a lecture on the syllabus, not really a lecture, but I'm explaining the syllabus to you guys. That's probably not on your top 100 things to do. So I guess kind of for me too, although I love this class and I love what we're going to study together, and the books and things you guys encounter are fabulous. So I really look forward to that. But I wish I could look at your faces right now. So I'm doing this to a blank screen in my office at work at the college. So I don't know, maybe I need some caffeine to keep me amped up and in a good mood while I'm explaining the syllabus to you guys. But it is going to be a very good semester, and I'm glad you guys are with me. I'm a historian, so I better love what I do, and I do. I love studying, in this case, the ancient world. So there's so much drama there, and the best and worst of humanity. It's a fantastic story. So I want to try to reassure you guys what this class is not going to be. It's not going to be just a bunch of memorization of names and dates, although there will be some memorization, of course. But that's not really the heart and soul of the history class. The heart and soul of the history class on the college level is intellectual curiosity into the human condition. And history is a wonderful example of teaching how things work out. We'll spend quite a bit of time with the Roman Empire, although actually it's a world history class, as you guys know. We'll go all over the globe, and there's just incredible richness there. And I wouldn't have it any other way. But we will spend a little bit extra time with Rome. The reason why is because we want to dig a little bit deeper into one specific topic. And you guys are reading the historian Anthony Everett's biography of Emperor Augustus. And I think you guys will really enjoy that. It's a fascinating tale. An amazing time period with a roller coaster of emotions and pitfalls and again the best and worst of humanity. And I think reading a specialized in-depth is much better than a general textbook, which you guys have been using all the way till now. Textbooks are great, but in this history class we're going to do things a little bit differently, so I hope that'll be really good for you guys. So all right, so grab a pencil. I recommend printing out the syllabus so you can have it with you as you're listening to this. And that way you don't highlight anything as you're going along. But all right, welcome to class. So, I'm Professor Lorenz, and this is History 4A, as you guys know, because you're already in Canvas looking at this. We're section 52028, the first half of world civilization. And there's many reasons why we study history. There's a wonderful quote by Machiavelli, and that's Machiavelli, by the way. I guess for you guys right there. You guys can't see him. Yeah, you guys see, there he is. There on the left of the screen, there's Machiavelli. It's a wonderful quote by Machiavelli, who writes, "Whoever wishes to foresee the future must consult the past, for human events ever resemble those of preceding times. This arises from the fact that they are produced by men," and we'll insert women, "who ever have been, ever shall be, animated by the same passions, and thus necessarily have the same results." Now, I'm not saying Machiavelli's saying history is cyclical. I don't think he'd be okay with that. I certainly, as a historian, would not be okay with it. But, just like Mark Twain famously said, history doesn't repeat itself, but it sure rhymes. The human condition has not changed. Now, our technology has, and thank God for that. In many ways, society has changed. But our loves, our passions, our jealousies, our hopes, our thinking about life and how things work, in many ways, our frustrations and our desires, those things have not changed that much. Maybe our expectations, how those are fulfilled, but they've not changed that much. That's what Machiavelli's talking about. How does power work? What does a majority do to a minority? How does a minority protect itself? What happens when you give someone absolute power? What happens when you have limited power spread among a variety of bodies? What do rights look like? What does the absence of rights look like? What happens when you have no rights at all? You're simply at the whim or the dark desires of a power who's absolute control of you, body and, we'll see in history sometimes even at the attempt, even in soul, not just body, but also in soul in a sense too. What happens with that? How does that work? That's what Mark really is talking about, and that's what we're going to spend our time this semester working on. And in case you wonder, by the way, who's that lady there on the right? Let me squeeze up. There we go, so you can see a little better. In fact, here, let me. Well, okay. That is a depiction of Calliope, the Greek goddess of eloquent speech and epic poetry. Of course, not a real person, but an embodiment by the Greeks. She's considered one of Homer's great muses. Perhaps a muse helped inspire the Iliad and the Odyssey, one of the great classical works in human history. Now, obviously, there's a whole level of myth to all that, but I love that quote, which you see right here from Homer's The Odyssey, and where Homer, whether a person or a collection of them, in any case, writes, men, and again, we'll put women, or humanity are so quick to blame the gods. They say that we devise their misery. They themselves, in their depravity, design greater griefs than the griefs that fate assigns. Now, of course, that's poetic, but if we slow down for a minute, that's Homer saying people like to always blame someone else. Does that sound familiar? In this case, blaming the gods, like, I wouldn't have done this, but the gods wanted me to do this. Me, myself, I'm a good guy. I'm a good woman. I wouldn't have done this, but the gods, fate, whatever, just decree these things. I'm a victim of that. Who am I to? And that's Homer saying, no, you have agency. Don't blame the gods for things you do. You make decisions. Agency, again, means you. What is your will? What is your decision-making process? Take responsibility for what you do. Don't simply blame conditions around you, in this case, the gods, whatever, because most of mankind's greatest miseries come from this coconut right here through time, male, female, wherever that may be. And so saying, take responsibility for what you do in society, in your family, in the larger world. It's a wonderful quote by Homer. That's why I put it in there. And it's a reminder, again, why you guys are in history class. There's many reasons besides you have to be. But, the nation needs you. We need your perspective. And we need to do that as an educated community, right? How can you respond politically, socially, the environment, all these things, if we do it from a place of ignorance, right? Not a good plan. How does our democracy survive based on a level of ignorance of what happened before us? That's a horrible, terrible idea. Almost like, imagine if you bumped your head and had amnesia, and however old you are, 20, 25, 40, 18, bump your head, you have amnesia, and you got a blind date the next night. Sounds fun, blind date. I'm presuming you're single, of course. You got a blind date, but you have amnesia. Now, you can still function, but you have no memory of any romantic or even personal interaction prior to that blind date. When you meet that person on a blind date, whether you go to an Applebee's or for a movie or whatever, wherever you're going to eat, a Thai restaurant, whatever. When you sit down to meet that person and you begin to talk to them, how do you get a sense whether that person might be somebody you want to have a second date with? How would you know this person is a real connection with that person, that your life experience, their life experience can add a lot of joy together? How do you know that? On the flip side, on the darker side, how would you see danger signs in that person? Like, look, they're beautiful, they're handsome, as the case may be, but something strikes me as odd here. I don't think so. This is a one-timer. I'll be polite, I'll pick up the check, wave goodbye, that's it. Because I sense there's something going on here I do not want to be involved in romantically in any way. That's a no. I'll try again, but not with this person. Again, why is that? Because you, based on your life experience, you would sense like, ooh, I don't like where this is going. Something, my spider sense is telling me this person would not be good for me. And vice versa, that you might not be good for them. But if you had amnesia, you would have none of that, right? Just none of that. So that's what we're talking about. So, and to be an educated citizen is to be able to aware of that. So I don't spend too long on this. We got to jump right into the syllabus, so we'll do that now. But just the importance of you guys, what you guys do in this class is important. It's not just ticking a box in college education. By the way, it is partially that. We know that. But our democracy needs you. Our nation needs you as an educated, thoughtful person with perspective, humility, and education that you can help contribute to the national, personal, family dialogue from a place of knowledge and perspective. So, okay, I better move on because I need to get into the nuts and bolts. And we're not the first to do this. There's a whole great line of historians from around the world who are helping us do this. You don't need to know these guys right here, but just Herodotus, we'll spend some time with him there on the left. Sima Qin, a great Chinese historian there on the right. Ibn Khaldun, a great Arabic Muslim historian. But just showing us that we stand on the shoulders of giants, and there's a lot of things happen before us. But we get to benefit from what they have given to us as we critically examine their record that they hand down to us. All right, let's get really practical. Let's jump right in. So please read and review the syllabus carefully, which you guys are doing right now. I'm responsible for knowing its contents, requesting clarification. You guys will always have this available to you guys, but our syllabus simply is our contract, as you guys already probably know quite well. It's good for both of us. Sometimes I have to change things, and of course, I will always quickly communicate that with you. If we have to mid-semester change something, of course, I will let you know what that is. So, a little bit of basic information. Again, I'm Michael Lorenz. I'm a professor of history here at Merced College. I love what I do. I love the study of history. I'm not even sure I necessarily even have a favorite time in history. I like nearly all of it because all of it has such fascinating insights into the human condition. I'll just leave it there. My office is in the IEC building, Building A, Social Science, and my office is in 219. I encourage you guys, I know this may be an online class, but I encourage you guys, swing by. I'd love to talk to you guys. I know, again, this is an online class. You don't need to do that. We can meet over Zoom. But some of you will have a hybrid of some, in person, some on campus classes. And so you guys are around, please swing by, say hi. If you need help, swing by, but you also just come by and chat. I'd love to meet you in person. So I'm in 219. You can see my office hours. There's my office phone number. There's my office email. That's a great way to get a hold of me, office email. My office hours Monday, 2 to 4 p.m., Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. By the way, if you email me, I can also do Zoom in those office hours. I know a lot of you guys are not on campus, but maybe you want to come by and chat. We can do that through Zoom. And then I have specifically just Zoom at office hours from Tuesdays 3 to 4. But again, I can be flexible with my Monday, Thursday office hours. Just let me know. Say, hey, could you give me, 10 minutes or whatever, whatever you need, 5 minutes. And we can also open up the Zoom for you. And there's a Zoom number right there. And so you and I can chat a little bit and get to know each other, and I can help you or whatever you're looking for. So, okay. Class info, days. Well, there's not really days, right? This is an online class. So it's really up to you guys. All those assignments who obviously have a certain calendar structure to the class. But there is one thing we're going to do is Thursdays from 12 to 12:40, just 40 minutes. I'm going to have an optional Zoom discussion based on the readings for this class. It's optional. You don't have to go. Some of you guys probably can't work in or whatever. But I would highly recommend it to you guys. It's very good for your grade. It's also part of the college experience. Online education has a lot of good things about it, but there are some downsides to it, which is less of human connection. So we're going to work around that. But I encourage you guys, if you can, it's very good to be in person for the discussions. You'll learn a lot more. I'll get a chance to know you a little bit, put your face with a name a little easier. I think the learning experience is better. So if you can, come to that Zoom class. It's only once a week. It's on Thursday from 12 to 12:40. If you can't, that's fine. You'll be fine. It's not going to affect your grade. This is an online class. It's strictly optional. I didn't have to even do it, frankly, but I love to do it. And so I'd like to hang out with you guys, discuss the readings. It's good for your grade. So the reason why it's good for your grade, not that you get separate points, it's not, but just you're more engaged. So naturally, it tends to lead to a better outcome because you're more engaged. The class goes from August 15 to December 16. There's no prerequisites for our class. Required books, and there's 2 of them. The Human Record, Volume 1. Be careful when you guys order these. Volume 1, get that one, 1500. And then Anthony Everett's Augustus, the Life of Rome's First Emperor. Just a little tip to you guys. There are some professors who honestly don't really use the textbooks they assign to class. That's a secret. But you guys know from classes you guys have already taken. There's some professors don't really use a textbook that much. Now, some use a lot. Depends on the professor, of course, right? Just to let you know who I am as a professor, I use these books. So if you're thinking like, can I wing it without the books? The answer is no, you can't. Or you could try, but it's going to end badly. Yeah, it's not going to end. So, yeah, you do need these two books. We'll use them extensively, and I think you'll enjoy both of those books. So you do need both of those, so get them as soon as you can, and we'll jump into both those books. If you're a history major, by the way, for the rest of you guys, you can zone out for the next 30 seconds or 20 seconds. If you're a history major, I'd recommend A Pocket Guide to Writing History by Mary Lynn Lampola. It's not required for the rest of you guys. You don't need that book. But if you're a history major, I would encourage you. And again, you don't have to have that book technically for this class either, even if you are a history major. But just being a historian myself, I want to recommend you, as you grow in that profession, again, just for history majors, that book will be helpful to you as you are developing your academic writing skills as a young, budding historian. The rest of you guys, you're good. Don't need that book. You're fine. You just need those two required books on top. All right, we're going to use Canvas, of course, which you guys already know. It's not new to you guys. And, of course, we're going to use Zoom when appropriate. Zoom etiquette, for those of you who come and obviously be thoughtful with your background, some obvious things, what we say in Zoom and what we're wearing, some of things are pretty obvious. Just be thoughtful, be professional. Course description. So we're talking world history from the earliest recorded human history all the way to 1650, and that's the whole world, all in one semester, which is not possible, frankly, but we're going to give it a shot. Goals of the course. Historiography is a fancy-sounding word. It simply means not studying the history in isolation, but also who are the people writing that history? Who are the sources? So, of course, you study the history, but you also look at who is the source material. Is this guy biased? Is she biased? What is their worldview? What is their perspective? Historiography simply means we take a deep breath, and as we simultaneously read the nuts and bolts of the history, we always keep one eye on our source so that we're not cloned or misled or simply swallow what's fed to us as that's the gospel truth. I read it. I know it's true because I read it. Now, you guys already know this, right? Frankly, it's hard. It takes more work not to do this. When you're reading a book, you're like, yeah, I got it, right? And historiography simply means, as you read, but you slow down a little bit, like, okay, I see what she's saying here, but it seems to me that's definitely a personal interpretation, which is fine, but that's an interpretation. I'm not sure that is larger reality. It's probably more complicated than that. So that's their interpretation. Okay, fine. That's what historiography is. All right. A quote there by the great African-American writer James Baldwin talking about the importance of history. And I love this quote. I love it so much. I use it for all my history classes. But Baldwin writes, history does not refer merely and principally to the past. On the contrary, the great force of history comes from the fact that we carry it within us, are unconsciously controlled by it in many ways, and history is literally present in all that we do. That kind of goes back to the amnesia thing. Whether you guys like history or not, some of you do, some of you are kind of neutral, some of you are dreading this class. But James Baldwin is, in a very brilliant way, is reminding us, like, look, our brains, our culture, our nation, our family, our community is made up of thousands and thousands and thousands of human interactions and human thoughts that simply have been downloaded into us, just downloaded into us. We don't realize it, but our education system, I'm not saying that even negatively, I'm just saying, but we are, honestly. Our idea of reality has been downloaded through education, through our family, our culture, entertainment, all that, right? James Baldwin said, okay, that's fine. That's bad. That's just naturally how human beings are. But Baldwin's like, okay, but be a knowledgeable consumer of what has been downloaded in your head based on your particular culture you live in. It doesn't have to mean it becomes jaded or cynical, but just be a knowledgeable consumer. That the thoughts you have in here, 99% of the time, are not independent, free thoughts you have. Much of it is simply downloaded, and you are almost robotically responding to the cultural imprint of your education, your culture around you. Some of that's good. Fine, there's many good things, but there's also negative. And so James Baldwin's like, be curious. Be curious. Ask, why do I think this? Why does our culture think this? Where did this come from? Okay. So I'm not going to take time to go through all that because I don't want to make this video too long, but essentially what you see in front of you is history is not simply what you guys have been doing the whole time, where you guys memorize places, and that it's important. I'm not downplaying that at all. It's important. But we spend more time on the college level analyzing sources. Is this peer-reviewed? What is their axe to grind? What is their perceptions they want me to assume based on their history? And so that we become more and more alert to, as we're ingesting the culture around us, that we remain alert intellectually to examine and not to uncritically swallow what's given to us. Okay. So how do we do this? And there's a variety of things we do. And by the way, this one we're not so much doing. So if you have your notes in front of you, you can kind of cross that one out. We're not doing the historian's thesis. In other classes I do that, but in our class we're not doing that. But practically we're going to be doing this through our discussions, the papers we write, analyzing primary, secondary sources. We'll talk about primary, secondary sources a little bit more later on. But we're going to do all this kind of higher level, more critical approach to history throughout almost everything we do this semester. There's the student learning outcomes, and that's stuff the college makes us do. I'm not so concerned with that, so I think you guys are good. But if you guys are curious, you can take a look at that. And all right, so let's get down to what you guys are waiting for. So what do we have to do in class? So the first thing is Canvas discussion boards, which you guys are probably already familiar with. But we'll have, I think, 3 of these. I need to double check. We'll have some Canvas discussions. I think it's a good way for you guys to interact with each other a little bit as you're chewing on both getting to know each other, but also things we talk about this semester. So that's the first thing we will do. And you'll check modules. You can see when those Canvas discussions are and the parameters for those. But those are pretty straightforward and they're pretty easy to do. And by the way, also hopeful they're enjoyable for you. So the first thing we'll do is some Canvas discussions. The next one looks really complicated because it seems kind of long. But I'm going to try to make that relatively short and sweet. So as you guys know, there's 2 required textbooks for this class. For each day that you read, you will, after you read, or actually while you read, however you want to do it, but you're going to record 2 questions per chapter as you read. These 2 questions you'll save on a running Word document. By the way, I have a much more detailed explanation plus a video describing how to do this in much more detail. That's not in the syllabus. I don't want to spend a long time in the syllabus getting into this, but there's a specific video that will be available to you guys in the discussion page in modules, and I think I'll put it on the homepage too. I'll make it readily available to you guys in the reading page too, so you have multiple places you guys can watch this video that'll explain in detail how to do this. It's quite simple, basically. But essentially, for each reading assignment in Augustus and your textbook for the record, on the typical day, you'll be creating 4 questions. 2 from that specific chapter in Augustus, and typically 2 for the human record. Now, occasionally, the human record, there's more than 1 short source assigned, so there could be some days where you actually have more than 2 for the human record. But typically, that's what it is. Now, the questions are simply a natural question you have based on what you read. By the way, you don't answer these questions. You simply write them down. So it's a fairly short, quick way for you simply to respond proactively to the reading you just did that is required for that day. You don't turn them in that day. You turn them in at the midterm and at the final. You simply have a running Word document where you compile these questions based on the date and the reading assignment. Again, I know that's kind of short, so I want to refer to you guys. Go to, again, I'll put this on the homepage. They'll definitely be in Canvas in modules. Look for question response to reading. Just click on that. You'll see this video there. I think I'll also put the same video describing how to do it in the first reading assignments in modules. You'll see here's the homework, and I'll have the video there too explaining in more detail how to do it. It's not hard. It's easy. It's great for your grade. It just helps you engage with the readings. And also we can use these for discussions for those of you guys come to Zoom class. I know it's kind of short. You probably have some questions exactly what you're doing there. So again, Canvas homepage, watch that short video describing how to do it. You'll have a sample as well, so you'll be quite clear to you guys what you guys are doing. You'll be good. Don't sweat it. That's just a general overview. But I'd say it's fairly easy, but something you'll do for every class, and you'll hold on to those questions. Okay. So there'll be three short. Sorry, not three. The third item is you will have some video responses to some videos I respond to you guys. I assigned you guys. I'm sorry. We're not going to do a lot of these, but you will have some of these, and I think you guys will really enjoy these. I'm going to try to have a nice variety for you guys, some kind of short, some a little bit longer, even a different variety of kind of genres. Some will be documentary, some will be comedy, some will be a movie. So I think you guys will really enjoy these. They're great for your grade, but also I hope it makes history go into Technicolor for you guys. And I think you guys will enjoy this. Just look at modules again, because you'll see them stacking up their modules when they come up. We're not going to do a lot of those, but we'll have a number of those. All right. Then number 4, critical analysis paper. This will be due at the end of the semester, and that'll be this paper based on your 2 textbooks. And that's, it's not going to be based on the notes. It's going to be based on the 2 textbooks. And so I'll explain that later on. You guys have a whole video you'll watch to explain how to do that and the assignment. That's not due to the end of the semester, but you'll be building toward that based on what you're reading in your 2 assigned textbooks. And again, if you want a little preview what that is, you can simply scroll down modules all the way to Unit 4 toward the end of the semester and just click on critical analysis paper. There'll be a video there describing how to do it. There's instructions describing how to do it. Basically, it'll be a 4 to 6 page paper based on the 2 textbooks you guys are using for this class. Finally, there are 4 objective exams. The exams are based entirely on the lecture notes. So lecture notes are there in modules, of course. You guys see them. So let me give you guys the keys to success. So when you're taking notes, watching the lectures, don't allow that to overwhelm you. Now, I know I'm a historian. Sometimes I really get into it. You're like, oh, man, there's a ton of text here. Let me help you guys. Write down the stuff I highlight for you. So as I lecture, oftentimes I'll say, this is really important. Bingo, that's when you might want to stop the lecture, you already have your paper out or your laptop, whatever, how you want to take notes. But take notes on that section that I highlighted for you guys and I'll point out to you guys. If there's text beyond that that's not highlighted in my lecture notes, don't worry about it. That's background to give you guys some nuance and color. Focus on the highlighted stuff in the lecture notes. Again, that's one nice thing about an online class, because you can just pause, right? So as I'm lecturing, if you need to go get a coffee or Starbucks or something, you can just pause, need a break, walk the dog, whatever. But you can pause, right? And then you see me highlighting something, you're like, bingo. Professor Lorenz likes this topic. I got a hunch this is on the exam because it's highlighted for me. So again, I try to use a highlighting to make it accessible to you guys, that way you're not overwhelmed with all this avalanche of historic material coming towards you, but you can focus in. So take good notes on the highlighted portions. You can actually use those notes on the exams. Take good notes, because your notes will be available to you. So when you take the exams are multiple choice, true and false, you get 70 minutes. You can have all your notes all stacked up. You guys will be good. So not only will you have studied a course, but also your notes are available to you on the exam. So take good notes on the lectures I have you guys. Don't get behind the lectures. Keep up with them. And that's the class. So let's scroll down here for a minute. So Canvas discussions are going to be about 11% of the grade. Question response to readings, again, we'll do 2 of those. Remember, you're doing questions per every class reading assignment, but you only turn those in twice. Once at the midterm, once at the final. And those together are about 22% of the grade. But it's a big chunk of grade. Again, easy to do. Just be thoughtful. Follow the format and so forth. Make sure you guys listen to the directions in modules. Short video responses. We'll do a number of those, probably about 12% of your grade. The final paper due at the very end of the semester is worth about 23% of your grade. Last but not least, the 4 exams based the lectures in modules, that's worth 30% of your grade. So all total, that adds up to 655. And there you go. The nice thing with Canvas is you'll see as I'm grading, those things, of course, will pop up. You can see how you're doing in the class. The class is straight points, so you'll always have a real good sense of where you're at in the class. And you guys should be in good shape. Hope that made sense to you guys. If not, you can rewind a little bit and take a look. So, okay. General class info. Okay, so late responses or videos will not accept after the first class following the due date. Translation, you need to get them to me on time. Now, contact me, because I know for all of us, life comes up, right? Health crises, family issues, let me know, right? Contact me. So for some reason you couldn't get it in, you get to appeal to Caesar. Caesar's me. And just let me be smart. So like, here's what's going on, and it's a case-by-case basis, of course, but I want to be compassionate and thoughtful. So just let me know what's going on, and we'll see what we can do. Okay. Absent students risk being dropped. Now, absent, you guys are doing it online, right? So, but just FYI, your professors know how much time you spend in Canvas. By the way, your grade will be going down, down, down too, right? So if I see 0 time in Canvas and you're missing assignments, there's a good chance I might drop you out at the first census. So now again, our class is to some degree, there's flexibility when you do the assignments, or not the assignments. There's some flexibility when you watch the lectures and so forth, right? But just let you guys know, there's always a few people who maybe they imagine the online class means that they can skip half the semester and they can kind of log in partway through the semester, and that's not going to work, right? So all the assignment dates, the due dates, and so forth, and just let you guys know, don't fall behind. Of course, you can watch all your Canvas lectures. You can save them for Saturday night or Friday night. Get the popcorn out. Don't do that to yourself. But just keep up. Don't fall behind. If you guys need to drop the class, protect your GPA. This is strictly for you guys, but if some of you guys, things will come up, you can't take one more of my lectures or whatever the issue is, family changes, dynamic, you need more work, whatever, I get it. When I was in college, I had to get out some classes too. Just protect your GPA. It's easy. Just go through the paperwork. You can do it online. Just make sure you guys drop the class, protect your GPA. Don't stop coming to class, but you don't drop. Because the last thing you want to do is somehow your name is still on my roll at the end of the semester. I have to assign you a grade. Of course, it'll be an F because you haven't been there for a while. You've done the assignments. Then you got that anchor on your GPA. Don't do that to yourself. All right, we're getting to the end here. Academic honesty. So, yeah, this is important. By the way, and online is important. There's always a few students online who online translates to cut and paste, and it's going to end badly. Just I'm letting you know that. So the consequences are quite serious. Usually it means failing the class. Depending on what's going on, there's a good chance it means so. Any kind of copying from fellow students, etc., cheating on exams, cheating the paper, cheating on the right video responses, etc., is going to end badly. We have pretty good filters at the college. So for your own best interest, don't try us. So, by the way, it's not good for you, right? I always tell students, let's go with worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, the paper you're writing is not what you would like it to be. Maybe the semester got wild for you and you just could not devote the time you really needed to excel. And the paper you turn in is pretty bad. Again, we're going worst case scenario. Paper's not good. Okay, but you know what? Let's go worst case scenario. Let's suppose that paper is F level. You get 50 out of 100. It's not good, but you still get 50 points. If it's plagiarized, you get a donut, right? Catastrophic, probably have to repeat the class. It's so bad for your grade. So even that bad paper that you're embarrassed about, you're like, man, I couldn't get it, but that's still worth points, right? Now, by the way, turn in an excellent paper. But again, I'm just saying, but just do the math yourself. Even if you don't have some little angel on your shoulder, be honest, it'd be morally wrong to cheat. Maybe some of you don't have that, or you don't listen to that and you just have a little demon on the other shoulder, do it, cut and paste. Okay, but I'm just saying just practically. I'm not even talking about the morality of the morality is important. Let's get practical. When that little demons that talking to you at 3 a.m., like, do it, do it. Realize if you get caught doing it, the consequences are usually fatal for that semester. Not to you personally, of course, but to your grade and how you're doing in the class. Whereas you throw together the best you can, even if it's late, it's still worth points. So that paper you're kind of like uncomfortable with, like, oh man, but that thing is yours and that's still worth points. So protect yourself. Anyways, enough said about that. Most of you guys know that deal already, but besides you're cheating yourself out of knowledge and education and all that, you guys already know. I'm just talking about brass tacks. Care for yourself, be practical. Hopefully for your desire to learn, your moral, spiritual compass are your first go-to, which I need to learn because I want to get a good education. I want to get my money's worth in Merced College. When I transfer or I get that job, I want to be able to bring a knowledge to that place of employment, a strong knowledge. And morally, that's my faith system. I got to do it. If those two don't work, be practical and say, I don't want the negative consequences with doing that a different way. Okay, enough of that. Extra credit, there's some great things for extra credit, and I think I might make a video just for extra credit, so I think right now I'm not going to go into that. But there's some wonderful extra credit. I highly recommend to you guys. Yeah, I think maybe I'll make a video for this. Stay tuned. I'll probably try to put it on the homepage. Maybe also put it in modules too for extra credit. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So a wide variety of things you guys can do for extra credit. Museums you can visit. There's videos online you guys can watch. There's wonderful things you guys can do. Highly recommend it both because it's just frankly great and fun to do, but also practically really good for your grades. So some wonderful things you guys can do. Look for probably in modules. Go to the extra credit. It's be right there in Unit 4 in modules. Look for extra credit. I haven't done it yet, but I will get it on there. Look for a video describing things you guys can do for extra credit. Finally, we are almost done. I want to wrap this thing up for you guys. Campus security, emergency services, etc. Now, again, if you are strictly not on campus, then you can probably fast forward through this section. But if you are on campus, either now or in the future, I recommend you guys download the app Campus Shield. Campus Shield will be very helpful here on campus. If you touch that app and you see any kind of situation going down, medical emergency, God forbid, some kind of physical threat, whatever, but Campus Shield automatically connects you with the campus police here, and and also gives them the GPS location of your phone. So if you're in a classroom out in the parking lot and you see someone collapse, the medical emergency, or God forbid, someone's phone you to your car or something. Again, hopefully things never happen, right? But if they did, it's super nice to have it. And obviously, you could always dial 911. I recommend 911 for obvious reasons. But the first responder typically, just because of the availability, is going to be the Merced College Police Department. They'll be the first to respond. So Campus Shield is a great way to get a hold of them. When you punch that, it'll automatically go to them, and they can talk to you immediately. And they'll know where you are, and they come right to your location. Now, of course, depending on age, of course, you can welcome them down 911, depending on what it is. But the first responder would be the local, our own Merced College Police Department, a great resource. I've had to use it a number of times. I've even used the app for medical emergency. So now only works here on campus. So if you're off campus, 911, of course. And again, since you guys are taking this class online, most of the time it wouldn't apply to you. But if you do have some classes on campus, I highly recommend it. You don't have to use it. Just always be available to you in the event of emergency. Finally, and we're about at the finish line here, word in classroom, decorum, expectation. Again, we're an online class, but still these things apply. Please keep your fellow students in mind in an atmosphere of respect for all. For example, in discussion pages, be nice to each other, be positive, be thoughtful. Civil academic dialogue, respect for pluralism. Same thing for our discussion pages, or whatever is, this college setting. You're going to hear opinions you disagree with. I'll just say, welcome to college, right? You don't have to agree with them. You don't need to agree with me. I try not to be political, but sometimes if I get into something, I disagree. Fantastic. That's your right as a student. You don't need, my job is not to clone you to think like I do. Naturally, I think my thinking's pretty good. but you think your thinking is pretty good. And who's right? It's not my job, and nor should I attempt to. I'll give you my persuasive analysis of how I perceive something, and you can listen to that. But of course, you have absolutely academic freedom to accept some parts. It's like, yeah, I agree with that. This part I disagree with. Exactly, perfect. That's college. So if you hear a fellow student express an opinion you disagree with, hey, welcome to college. That's the intellectual buffet we're at, right? To hear all kinds of opinions. I think sometimes you think like, I can't hear an opinion I disagree with. That's not college. Not college. Now, you don't have to agree with that opinion exactly. You might say, man, I completely disagree, and here's why. I've thought about it very carefully for all these reasons I disagree. That's perfect. That is college, right? But the idea of like my ears are too tender. I cannot hear opposing ideas. By the way, even if you think that opposing ideas, you want to understand where they're coming from, right? So it's one of the great things about college. Maybe you take a class like, man, I don't like where that professor's coming from. Okay, great, useful. It's useful, right? Because now you know where they're coming from. Again, maybe you don't think that way, but now you have better understand like why they think the way they think. You don't have to follow that thinking, but like, okay, I see where they're coming from. I disagree with them, but I see where it's coming from. So. Okay, cell phone policy. We're an online class. That doesn't really matter. Outside of, obviously, don't use your cell phone during an exam. Just your lecture notes. There's all kinds of wonderful services here at the college, so please make use of those. And sexual misconduct in our online class, but things sometimes can happen, right? So the college has a very strong policy. Please be aware of that. Reach out if anything inappropriate you believe is happening. There's a link right there to the website. We want to make this a safe environment for everybody. So that includes all of you as online students. So if something inappropriate happens, something brings you concern, please reach out to me. There's a good resource available to you guys. Go to the link there and you can get help. And let's make sure it remains safe for everybody. Again, there's all kinds of wonderful resources here on campus. Please take a look at the syllabus, make use of those. We want you to have the best experience possible in all your classes and in my class too. And I think we're good. So hope that wasn't too painful. I think all the rest of the lectures are going to be better because we have a chance to really dive into the pool of the human experience, which is world history. We're going to enjoy the semester together. It's going to be good. I think you guys will really enjoy Anthony Everett's Augustus. It's a fascinating history of a man that changes the world, and his world, his life, his loves, his losses, his family, the drama of that, how power works, near escape, success, failure, jealousy, atrocity, the best of human arts and the worst. It's all there. We have a month name for this guy, right? August, the hottest month of the year. I don't know whether he'd be okay with being the hottest month of the year. Maybe he'd want to have a spring or fall month. I don't know. But he got a month. That's not bad, right? That's not bad. So you guys enjoy the book. And there's also fabulous things in the textbook, The Human Record, that you guys will really enjoy. And then there are lectures too. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys, although it'll be virtual, kind of a one-way conversation most of the time. But welcome to class, everybody. I'm so glad you joined us. This topic is important. It's also hopefully delicious. For those of you who don't like history, please give it a chance. The drama of the human experience, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking to play Trivia Pursuit, that you have a catalog of all these names and places. So that's important, but how humanity functions, the laboratory of time, that's what we're doing together. So welcome to class, everybody. That's it. Let's wrap it up right there. Take care, everybody.